Let us take the discussion further for intertemporal choice. So I've just drawn this budget constraint which we have derived earlier in the last video, and let us look at the first case. So I've drawn the endowment points also. This is my income in time period 1. This is my income in time period 2. Now supposedly if I am the lender, so if I am the lender, so it means that I'm going to consume less today, right? I'm the saver. So I'm going to consume less today as compared to my income. So if this is what my income was in time period 1, and if I want to consume less today, right? So what I'll do is, it means my optimal lies, let's say here. So this is the case when I am the lender. This is the case when I am the lender. So my equilibrium lies here, right? So C1 is here, C2 is here. So I'm consuming less today as compared to tomorrow, right? So it means that I am a lender out here. Okay. What about this guy? Supposedly if I'm the borrower, so I'll be consuming more today as compared to tomorrow. So if I'm consuming more today, it is like this. Let's say like this. So I'm consuming more today as compared to tomorrow, right? I'm consuming more today as compared to tomorrow. So this is borrower. This guy is the borrower. Okay. Now let's look at few comparative static exercises. So what do you mean by that? Let us look at the case when the consumer is initially a lender and the rate of interest increases. Then let us answer whether he will remain a lender or he'll become a borrower. So let's look at that. So let me write the case first. Suppose. Now let us look at the case where the consumer is initially a lender, and will show when there is an increase in the rate of interest, consumer must remain a lender only. So let's look at that. So this is the endowment point, beta. This guy is the endowment point. This is the endowment point, and there is going to be, when the interest rate is going to increase, then budget line is going to shift like this. So it is going to pass through the endowment point, and it will become little steeper like this. So I've shown this. Okay. Now what is it that we want to show is this. You think about it. Your new steeper budget line, it is passing through the endowment point. Yes. Okay. Now question is that, can you consume points to the right of the endowment point in the new budget line? What are the points to the right of the endowment point in the new budget line? These one. These points are to the right of the points in the new budget line. Ask yourself, were these points available to you initially when the interest rate has not changed? Yes, these points were available. So this black budget line was the initial budget line. These points on the new budget line were available, were affordable to you when you have made the initial choice of E1, right? That is right. Okay. Now you think about it. Can you make a choice, the new choice, on this part of the budget line? You can't, because this is the violation of the principle of revealed preference. These points were available to you earlier. You have rejected them in favor of E1, right? Now again, you cannot have an optimal for these points. I mean, you cannot choose any of these points when E1 is still available to you. In the new budget line, beta, this green budget line is the new budget line. Is E1 available to you? Yes, it is lying within the budget set. So you cannot choose any of these highlighted points in the new budget line since E1 is still available to you. You have rejected these points earlier in favor of this. That's what you've done. Okay. So let me just write this. So these are the points which we have written. So when R has increased, consumer cannot consume to the right of the endowment point because those points were already available to him when he has made the initial choice. So in case if he is going to choose any of these highlighted points, that is going to violate the principle of revealed preference. Also, he has rejected these points in favor of the original choice which he is making, and this original choice is still available to him under the new budget constraint, right? So he cannot choose these points now. So this is not allowed. Now, the thing is that this original bundle is still available to him, right? In the new budget constraint. And if you do not want to violate the principle of revealed preference, so you have to choose some points on the new budget constraint which were not available to him earlier. So in the new budget constraint, beta, these points are still available to him earlier. So these points were not available to him earlier. So you can have a consumption here, let's say. You can have a consumption here, let's say. So it means that your consumption on the new budget line can be to the left of the endowment point. Your consumption to the new budget line to the left of the endowment point, right? So that is, and in case if it is to the left of the endowment point means what? You are still consuming less now here at this point. So your consumption is C1 here, C2 here. So your consumption in time period 1 is lesser than what your income is, hence you are still a lender. That is, the consumer must remain a lender. Must remain a lender. When rate of interest increases, right? Now we'll show the case when the consumer was initially a borrower and the rate of interest has declined. He will still remain a borrower. He or she. So I've written she and I'm saying he. So it is C2, C1. So she was initially a borrower and she will still remain a borrower. So it is like this. This is the initial budget constraint. This is the initial. This is the endowment which I have. This is M1. This is M2. And I am consuming here. Let's say. So my consumption here. This is the original consumption and this guy is the endowment, right? This guy is the endowment point and the rate of interest has declined. So when the rate of interest has declined, the something like this. So rate of interest is declined. And your budget looks like this now. Okay, sorry. Right. So rate of interest has declined. Your budget looks like this. So this is this green budget line is the new budget line. Now you think about it. Can you consume at these points? Can you consume in the new budget line? Can you consume at these points? No, you cannot consume on these points because these points on the new budget line were already available to you under the old budget constraint. These points were available to you and you have rejected them in favor of the initial optimal which you have chosen. So, and this initial optimal is still available to you in the new budget line. So, if you do not want to violate the principle of revealed preference, then in that case you have to choose points here on this portion of the budget constraint, right? On the new budget line, you have to choose the portion on this portion of the budget constraint, because if you're going to choose anywhere to the right of the endowment, these points were not available to you under the initial budget constraint. So if you're going to choose here, let's say here, somewhere here, so let's say this is E2. So now again your consumption is way more than what your income is in this period. So it means what, beta? Sorry, this is C1. So it means what? You're still a borrower. So you were a borrower and you will still remain a borrower with the same reasoning, right? With the same reasonings. So when the interest rate you were initially a borrower, interest rate has declined, you will still remain a borrower. You were initially a lender, interest rate has increased, you will still remain a lender. But there are 2 points for which revealed preference doesn't tell anything, and you could be anything out of these. So this is the another point which I just want to write. Please write that. If a person is a lender and now the interest rate falls, he may well become a borrower. He may become a borrower. If a person is a borrower and interest rate increases, he may become a lender, right? So revealed preference doesn't say anything about that. So please write that. If a person is a lender and rate of interest falls, so what is the case which we have done, beta? We have done that case when the person is a lender and the interest rate has increased, so he remains a lender. Here I am saying if a person is a lender and rate of interest falls, he may become a borrower. Revealed preference doesn't say anything about it. Second, if a person is what is the case which we have done? If the person is a borrower and interest rate falls, he must remain a borrower. But what revealed preference doesn't say anything about the following case. If the person is a borrower and interest rate increases, he may well become a lender. Please write. If a person is a borrower and rate of interest increases, he may decide to become a lender, right? So the reference for this is Varian chapter 10. The reference for this is Varian chapter 10, right? So please read the book also side by side. That is very, very helpful. So you have to read the book as well, make notes and try to do the back questions as well. You might also look at, if you want, Variant workbook, which again is a beautifully written book. So you might do the questions side by side. So when you're doing micro, Don't just think that just by doing a simple reading that will be enough. So any university in the world, I mean, they're going to ask you the numerical questions. So you will have to do back questions which the text provides you, whichever text you're following. Intertemporal choice will remain intertemporal choice. Now, whether Rubenfield Pindyck will discuss this, or Varian discusses it, or Nicholson Snyder discusses it. So whosoever, but you have to do the back questions. You have to do the questions. They will be helpful to you. Thank you, beta.